Detective Comics issue 1019 sees the giant axe-wielding Norseman attack Bruce, who saved Lucius's life before confronting the Viking, grabbing his axe. He spies the destroyed microphone podium and the sparking wires from it, which Bruce rushes for, getting the Viking to slam his axe down on it as he dives away. The giant is knocked unconscious by the electrocution as the cops arrive, finding that Bruce is okay since he survived his fair share of assassination attempts. Lucius steps in to help Bruce, who tells him it's Oscar time as he pretends to act like this event has made him dizzy and Lucius needs to take him home. As they go to leave, Bruce pretends to fall over, grabbing some of the giant's hair as he gets back up. After telling Lucius his act is getting better, Bruce retreats back to the manor, where he goes through his library, finding a book on the symbol he saw in the park, and opening a voice log. He knew the symbol looked familiar, citing it as an annual pagan Yule ritual which is done at the end of the sun's cycle on the winter solstice. He still doesn't know whether the people were trying to honor sun goddesses, trying to find freedom from death gods, or praising the rebirth cycle. He knows whatever it is that involves sacrifices and a version of the gruesome Viking blood eagle ritual is used. At the hospital, meanwhile, the cops stand guard over the comatose Viking, soon hearing a noise from within the room. Going to investigate, the cops are strangled to death by a flaming chain, which soon disappears out the broken window with the comatose man. In the Batcave, Bruce runs a DNA scan on the hair he took from the Viking, finding it comes from a modern day Gotham, ruling out the possibility that the man is a time traveler or a metahuman. The computers soon bring up a record of Soren Rinsdale, a man who went missing the week before the winter solstice. Suiting up, he heads out into the city, returning to the botanical gardens, where he finds the symbol is still fresh on the ground despite the snowfall, which has melted around the symbol. He finds the nearby tree is also not covered in snow and is warm to the touch when suddenly he is attacked by the flaming chain-wielding cult leader, who have Soren and say that Batman will be a sacrifice to the sun goddess as well. Batman tells them that their gods are myths, but the leader says that he will prepare the gateway to hell, telling his men to kill Batman. Soren is tied to the tree and soon awakens, knowing the cult leader is a man named Jack, wanting to know what has happened. Jack begins his ritual, ripping Soren's mouth open, saying that the path shall be opened. Batman frees himself from the chains as a bright red light emanates from Soren. Grabbing a chain, Batman uses it to pull Jack away from Soren, but it's too late as a giant monster begins crawling out of Soren's mouth, hailing the sons and daughters of the fallen day. The monster completely frees itself, saying that God is here now and the path is open. Batman attacks the monster, knowing that there is always a weakness to every living thing, and he just needs to find it. The creature says that it knows Batman isn't of its land or language, therefore he can tell him the truth, revealing that there is no sun goddesses or Norse gods, but in his world they abuse them to cut open doors in the weak-minded. The monster begins attacking the cult as Batman knows the cult had no idea about any of this and were just regular people who got in over their heads, playing with powers they had no idea how to control. He knew the leader was a out-of-work actor named Jack Elder, who set up the group as a way to raise money for his tax debt, so all he needed to do was follow the money, which led him to Jack. Jack is soon taken by the monster, but Batman tries to save him, telling Jack to quit the masquerade, but Jack is taken by the monster, which stabs and kills him before disappearing in a flash of light back into Soren. Soren regains consciousness, asking if he is still alive, as Batman knows that Elder used a hallucinogenic mixture to control Soren and convince him that he really was a Norse warrior, and the Elders planned on using him to open a gateway for the creatures. Bruce soon continues his voice log from before, saying that Soren broke free from the trap before the ritual could finish, going on a murder spree, thinking that he was the harbinger of an annual Yuletide sacrifice. Bruce posits that the creature was meant to be the beginning of a wild hunt of sorts to cleanse the earth, so he will send the details on to Constantine, but he's not expecting much since he's seen cults like this too many times in Gotham, and it's all the same, be it religion, politics, or money. It's all an excuse for bad people to do bad things, and hopefully that's all it is, and not a sign of something wicked coming this way. He finishes the log, cataloging it under the day's date and titling it Solstice. Detective Comics issue 1019 was a great ending to the little two-parter mystery that saw Batman deal with something a little supernatural. I really liked that despite the supernatural nature of the threat with giant monsters and cults and weird pagan rituals, it still also just came down to bad men doing bad things, and again we got a little bit more of a detective Batman with him running down leads and investigating this cult cult and learning about its leader, who's just an actor who's trying to pay off his tax debt, which I think is really hilarious that that's what it boiled down to. It all made for a fantastic two-part story, and so far, all of Peter Tomasi's stories in Detective Comics since he took over have been excellent. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.